folks, and thanks for joining me for this little hip opening practice. As always, remember to work at your own pace and listen to your body, remembering always that each day is going to be a bit different. So some days the body's very open, some days not so much. Remember, the postures I'm doing are giving you a direction to head in, but not necessarily the intensity. So think of it in some ways like I've got the steering wheel, but you've got the accelerator and the brake. And of course, if anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. And pop any questions you have in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help you out in any way that I can. And of course, if you haven't already done so, just take a moment to click the little subscribe button or do so at the end of this video so that I can continue to share these practices with you. So we're going to start in a wide-kneed child's pose. So we start with our toes together near the back end of the mat, and the knees as wide as they'll comfortably go. So you may be able to go off the mat, but maybe just mat width is fine. Try to keep your buttocks and heels together, and then just start to walk out into the hands. You can turn the head to one side if it feels more comfortable, just alternating every couple of breaths, or if you prefer, you can just have the chin to the mat and look forward. Try to let the inner hips relax and also the lower back. Start to let the hips sink down a little further. And remember to keep your breath steady through your nose, both in and out, working with a simple Ujjayi breath. Just holding for a little longer, try to let the body soften a bit more. And after exhaling one more time, just walk the hands back in. Bring your knees together. And then make your way into kneeling plank. Take a couple of breaths in kneeling plank. And then when you feel ready, press back into down face dog. Check that your feet are hip width, your hands are shoulder width. You might like to just gently pedal out through the knees for a few breaths. And on your next calm inhalation, reach your right leg up and back. And then step your right foot forward into a long lunge, placing it between the hands, and drop your left knee down. To begin with, I want you to just take your right foot a little out to the side, and with the hands inside the right foot, either stay there if you need to, or if you're comfortable, sink down onto the elbows. Try to have a sense of your head moving forward and the tailbone moving back. Take another breath here, keeping the body relatively still at this point. And after exhaling one more time, keep your hips where they are, but lift up onto the hands and see if you can arch your back a little bit. Again, keep the breath steady. And try to have a sense here of bringing your right sit bone towards your right heel. And now either choose to stay there, or if you want to, you can just experiment with rolling to the outside of the hip and then back to the inside. And then rolling on to the outside and to the inside. And we'll just do that once more. And once you've come back to the center, press into your hands. Press up between the shoulder blades, pick up the right foot and step it back to down dog. Again, just hang out there for a couple of breaths. Try to let the neck be relaxed so there's no tension supporting the head.
And on your next calm inhalation, reach the left leg up and back. And then step your left foot silently forward between the hands. Bring your right knee down. Just turn the left foot out slightly, maybe taking the knee a bit wider if you're opening the hips. Then bring the left hand inside the foot and either just start to bring the body down, lowering the elbows part way down, or if you're quite comfortable, see if you can sink all the way down onto the elbows. Of course, if you know a deeper variation of this stretch, you can move into it, but this should be plenty. Try to relax the back of the left hip and the front of the right, whichever you feel is the tightest. That's where you focus your attention. And after taking one or two more breaths here, try to keep your hips down low where they are now, but lift up onto the hands. Try to arch the spine, and you should feel that the stretch gets a bit stronger in the front of the right hip. It might get stronger in the left leg as well. Here again, try to keep a sense of bringing the left sit bone towards the left heel. And either stay in a fairly static position there, or you might like to roll to the outer edge of the right hip, and then back to the center. And then roll to the outer edge of the hip and back to the center. And once more roll out. And back to the center. Then pick up the back knee, press up between the shoulder blades, pick up the left foot and step it back to down face dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Try to stretch through the calves. Again, maybe walking out through the knees is good for you. And after your next calm out breath, just reach the right leg up and back, stretch out through the toes. And holding there, try to drop the right hip down a little bit and find a bit more stretch in the outer left hip and left leg. Take another smooth breath in here, reach up through the right foot and press down through the left heel. And then bring your right knee behind the right hand, right foot behind the left hand, and sink your body to the mat. Stay again in an upright position for a couple of breaths, and then once you feel comfortable to do so, start to bring your body forward over the right shin. So if you're moving all the way forward, try not to have your right foot back near your left hip. So you want to try and bring eventually the shin more or less parallel to the front edge of your mat. If you're struggling with tension in the outer right hip, it really doesn't matter so much where your right leg is positioned. Just take a last couple of breaths here. Try to relax and soften around the outer right hip. And after one more exhalation, gently bring the body back up. You can just arch the spine for a moment, try to lengthen the front of the body. And then press down through the hands, pick up the back knee, and step back into downward facing dog. Now as you breathe in, raise the left leg high, reach up through the toes, and holding there, press your armpits towards your right foot. Take another breath in. Try not to lift the left hip, so the left hip stays down a little bit, which will make the right hip get a bit more fun. And as you exhale, stepping forward, bring the left knee behind left hand, left foot behind right hand. Sink down onto the mat. And here we are trying to bring the top of the right thigh down as well.
Remember, if you're really tight in the hips, you can pop a block or a bolster or a cushion or something underneath your left hip. When you're ready, start to soften the body forward. Maybe going just onto the hands, maybe to the elbows. If you're really comfy, you can bring the body to lie onto the shin. And again, find the spot where your body is resisting the posture the most and focus on relaxing wherever that may be. Keep bringing your attention back to your breath. Use each exhalation as a way to encourage the body to soften even more. Try to keep reaching back through the right foot and forward through the crown of the head. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after your next calm out breath, again lift up onto the hands. Then press through the hands, pick up the hips and back knee, and step once more into downward facing dog. Hang out there for a breath or two. Make sure the shoulders are moving away from the ears. Now reach your right leg up and back, stretch through to the toe tip. Step your right foot forward into a lunge. Lower your left knee down. And then bringing your body up. Simplest option, just hands on the right knee, but ideally see if you can bring your left heel up towards the buttock. So we're focusing on a stretch in the left thigh in front of the left hip here. But ideally there's a bit of a shoulder stretch as well, so try to hold the foot with both hands if you can, and pull the shoulders gently back. Holding here just for a last couple of breaths. If you're really comfortable here and the heels against the buttock, you can try to sink the hips down, which will increase the thigh stretch a little bit, but just be careful of any tension in your knees. Just one more breath here. And after exhaling, gently release the left foot. Take your hands down, pick up the back knee, and picking up your right foot, come back to down face dog. On your next inhalation, reach the left leg up and back, stretch all the way to the toes. And then step your left foot lightly forward between the hands and lower the right knee down. Again, bring your body upright over the back knee, maybe just hands on the left knee, but ideally bring your right heel up towards the buttock. Try and pull your shoulders gently back. Again, steady breathing is the key to getting the body to relax. We're not really doing much, so you shouldn't need to breathe much. Staying upright is plenty, but if you're very comfortable here and can keep heel and buttock together, start to sink the hips down and forward and find a deeper stretch in the right thigh. Just a last breath or two here. And after your next quiet out breath, gently release the foot. Take the hands down, pick up the back knee, pick up the left foot, and without scraping the mat, step back into downward facing dog. In down dog, just give your hips a bit of a roll, so don't think too much about it. Just bring a little movement into your down dog. You should start to feel a little stretch in the sides of the body, not just in the back.
after one more breath there, come back to a symmetrical position. And after breathing out one more time, bring your knees to the mat, cross your ankles, and sitting back, come into either cross-legged with the left leg in front, or ideally come into Gomukhasana with the left leg on top. So some of you know this to me is really the ultimate hip stretching posture or hip opening posture. Stretches inner and outer hips at the same time without compressing the sacroiliac joint. So really nice way to open the hips without compromising the lower back. And it's enough just to stay, because we're focusing on the hips staying upright, and focus on getting the knees a little closer together. If you're really comfortable here, just start to bring the body gently forward, but try to keep the sit bones pressing back. Just a last couple of breaths here. Remember that the two sides probably won't feel the same, so pay attention, get to know your body. After breathing out one more time, gently bring the body back up. And then lean back and swap your legs the other way. So now right knee over left. And take a moment just to get the legs as tightly connected as you can. Make sure the sit bones are fairly evenly weighted. And then when you're ready, perhaps start to bring the body forward. Keep the sit bones moving down and back as the sternum and crown move forward. Try to soften and relax wherever you're feeling there's the most resistance or tension. Just a last breath or two here. Remember to keep bringing your mind back to the postures, the sensations they create, and the rhythm of your breath. Try to keep a steady focus in the present. And after breathing out one more time, gently sit back up. And then unraveling your legs, lie down on your back. With your left leg stretched out, hug the right knee into the body. And then bring your left hand onto your left thigh and see if you can straighten the right leg. Now you might need to hold the ankle, or you might need to take a strap. If you're really comfortable, try to hold the outer edge of the foot and pull it gently towards the body. A little easier is holding the big toe, but outer edge of the foot if you can. Press out into both feet so both legs are active, and make sure your left calf is still on the floor. So we're not bringing the right leg further just by bending the knee and lifting the hips. It's just cheating. We're trying to keep the left leg flat. Just take a last breath or two here. And after exhaling one more time, gently bend the right knee. Stretch the right leg out and hug your left knee into the body. Take a couple of breaths there with the leg pulled in tightly to the ribs. and then bring your right hand to your right thigh. Take hold of the left foot. Again, you can use a strap if you need. You can hold above the ankle if you need. Try to keep both legs a little active. So it's like you're pushing out through the heel on both sides. Again, accept that the two sides probably aren't the same. Try to soften and relax with each out-breath. And after exhaling one more time, gently bend the left leg and stretch it out along the mat. Once you feel the body has come back to neutral, bring both knees in towards the body. We're going to take happy baby posture, Ananda Balasana. So again, holding ankles or feet. Try to keep the back flat, bring the shins vertical, and then start to pull the knees gently down under the arms. And as you feel the hips starting to relax a little bit, see if you can pull the knees down a tiny bit further. Now, only if you feel very comfortable here, see if you can straighten the legs and then drop your feet wider. So now we're starting to stretch the hamstrings and adductors a little bit more. Remember to go at your own pace. However old you are, it's taken you this long to get your body in the state it's at. Be equally patient with unraveling the tension that has come into it. Just holding here for a last couple of breaths. And after your next quiet exhalation, gently bring the knees together, either legs straight or bent, and then bring your feet to the mat. Take your right leg now over the left and see if you can hook the toes into the Garudasana position. Take your arms out to the side, making cactus arms. And to begin with, just roll the hips gently side to side. And if you want to stay with a twist, maybe take the knees to the right. So we can do actually both sides of the twist here, but for today, we'll take the knees towards the right and just hang out there a little bit. So right leg over left. Hold here just for a few more breaths. You might be noticing the outer left hip and left side of the back getting a little stretch, but ideally also starting to relax, to let go of that tension. Take a last breath or two here. Keep bringing the mind back to the breath, that steady inner focus. And then come back to the center. Unravel the legs, pause for a few breaths, letting your body come back to neutral. And then when you're ready, take the left leg over the right. And again, see if you can hook the toes under the calf. To begin with, just rock the knees side to side. So this first part, not really a stretch per se. I'm not looking for a deep stretch, but just bringing a little movement into the hips and lower back. And then when you feel ready, when you feel the hips have started to soften a little, take your knees towards the left side. So we're not worried about how far the knees go towards the floor. We're just letting them find their comfortable maximum and then just stay there. Again, it might feel different to the first side, both in the intensity of what you feel and the location of where you feel it. Just let the body continue to soften for a few more breaths. And when you're ready, just gently come back to the center. Again, unravel the legs. And take a couple of breaths, letting the body come back to neutral. And once you feel comfortable, just moving into Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring your feet together, let the knees drop wide. And take your hands down by your sides with the arms maybe 30 degrees away from the body. Just let the weight of gravity gently pull the knees towards the floor. And let the inner hips gently soften. If you haven't already done so, close your eyes. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And after the 3rd exhalation, in your own time, just gently stretch your legs out. Make your way into a little Shavasana. Let the feet drop out to the sides. Maybe give the body a little shuffle side to side, letting go of any last bits of tension. And again, take 3 slow, deep breaths at your own pace. With each out breath, just find somewhere in the body where you can relax and let go of effort. And after the 3rd conscious breath, just allow your breathing to settle back into its own rhythm. Let go of all effort in the body, in the breath, and most importantly, let go of involvement with thoughts. Allow uninvited thoughts to simply arise, pass through your awareness, and then without your involvement, dissolve. Just the same way that the breath arises and returns without any need for effort. Just resting here for another minute or so. Letting body, breath and mind return to effortless stillness.
Start to deepen your breath once more. And then slowly begin to move your fingers and toes as you reawaken the sense of outward movement. When you're ready, roll to your right side, and after a breath or two on your side, just gently come back to sitting. Once you're upright, close your eyes. Just recognize how you are after the practice in body, mind, and heart. Bring your palms together, and we'll close our practice with one Om together, gently breathing in. As you breathe in, reach the arms past your head, lengthen up into the fingertips. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the crown, to the brow, to the throat, and to the heart. And with awareness remaining in the heart space, gently release forward. And then sit back up. Namaste. Thanks, folks. As always, any questions, just pop them in the comments. If you haven't already done so, subscribe maybe. And otherwise, thank you for sharing the practice with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks very much.